And here we are at Bellarmine University. We're going to go inside and talk with some people, try and gather some ideas on perspectives of if it's a good idea or bad idea to live with someone else before you're married, and if the people inside would be okay about it. And we'll kind of get the traditional Catholic college's perspective on this. So let's go on inside.
All right, well, I think I would say no. Well, from the Catholic Church, I would definitely say no. But also from my own point of view, I think it's just not really a good idea. You're going to be doing it if you end up marrying the person. You're going to do it the rest of your life anyway. So it's just, wait a little bit longer. So that's the main point that I'd like to make. And the Catholic Church is the biggest thing too. So
my church says it's a bad idea. I'm Catholic, and I disagree with that because I think it's kind of testing the waters to see if it's going to be okay, because the divorce rate is so high these days that I think that if you can live with someone, then you can be with someone for a long time. So I think it's a good idea to live together.
I think it's a bad idea, mostly because that's the whole idea of marriage, is to, being married to a person, to start living with a person when you get married. The whole sex before marriage thing, I don't think is a good idea, because you get into a lot of trouble with it. So I think you should, move in with the person when you're married to him. Don't try to test the waters or anything, because you can only hurt yourself and the other person.
I think it's a bad idea. I just don't really, of all the people that I've seen that have lived together, I think most of them break up before they ever get married. So I think it kind of gives you a way out. If you move in together, you don't get married, it's kind of like saying no strings attached. Whenever I want to leave this relationship, I can.
Honestly, I think it depends on the people. I lived with a guy before we got married. We were engaged. I lived with him for 6 years, and I mean, it didn't necessarily work out, but at the same time, better to find out it didn't work out before we got married than not being able to get along with each other afterwards. So I don't necessarily have an opinion either way. I think it's more of a learning experience than anything else.
I can understand why a lot of people are apprehensive about living with a significant other before marriage, but at the same time, I think if it's a respectful relationship and it can still be done in a specifically, I guess, Christian way even, and I think it can be a positive and healthy living atmosphere without it being like amoral or a negative thing in general.
I think that it is a good idea for some and a bad idea for others. For me personally, I feel it would be a good idea just to kind of know what you're getting yourself into and what this person is really like on a regular basis, and if you guys can get along or not, and move forward, maybe get married, start a family. So I think it's probably not a great idea for everybody, but for me personally, it's a good idea.
My thought is, because I was in a relationship for a very long time before I got married. I'm actually married right now.
Like 6 years?
No, it was like 8.
8 years.
Yeah. So we dated in high school, college, stuff like that. And so, we always lived separately. But we got engaged, and we were engaged for a year and a half. And if you're engaged, it's like, okay, I'm committed. I'm in there. We're about to do this thing. But, why are we going to sit here and pay $600 a piece when we can, both put in, $350 and, make things work and then go from there?
And you sleep on the couch?
No. Yeah. we have a 3-bedroom, so office, my room.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
My take on this is I was actually with a girl for a couple of years. We were engaged, and we lived separately. And then for a summer, we decided to kind of like stay together. She still had her apartment. I still had my house, but so she decided to stay with me in the summer because she worked in Louisville and was going to school in Lexington, so her apartment was in Lexington. So it makes sense for us to stay together. And during that time, we realized that we're kind of like, our living habits are like totally just contradictory. So it's kind of a problem to where like me, I'm kind of laid back. I don't care if you walk in my carpet with your shoes on. Little things like that, but she would get extremely upset about things like that, and if you didn't, the way just her rules, like if you didn't put a trash bag inside a trash bag, that made the outside container bad. So just things like that got to the point to where you're like, oh my gosh, can I live with this person? If we got married, can we live with this person? Because we were engaged during this time period too. But during that engagement, we realized that, okay, maybe there's some things we got to work on. So my experience was, maybe we should live together separately the whole time, because I'm kind of old school when it comes to that anyway. Like, I wouldn't want to live together. But in another sense, I see financially it makes a lot of sense to move in together. But I think staying separate's good. And then once you're married, get ready to get married, we'll move in together. So that's my take.